When we think of Legend of Zelda, we typically think of a single-player experience with lots to explore and lots of memories to create. We've seen multiplayer Zelda games before, like Four Swords and Triforce Heroes, but Zelda has never gone bigger than that in the entire franchise. What's up everyone, my name is Hexovian, and before we get into it, I just want to apologize for not making a video the past couple of weeks. I honestly have no excuse other than just not being up to it. But we are close to 300 subs, so let's keep pushing. As always, thanks to my friends on Discord for helping me out with this video idea. A link to my Discord is in the description if you want to join in on the action. AADI actually talked about this topic in 2016 about wanting to use what they learned from Breath of the Wild's development and use it in a new multiplayer Zelda experience. As an example, he used Triforce Heroes, but I really hope they don't try to adapt that formula for a new multiplayer Zelda in a big open world. I have thought of a couple different ways a new Zelda built with multiplayer in mind could work. The first one I was thinking, the main idea is that it would use the same mechanics as Assassin's Creed Unity, and before anyone slaughters me, I liked Unity basically because of this mechanic, and only because of this mechanic, where players can explore alone in the vast world, or play some missions, or I'm pretty sure any of the story, as co-op, or there were other missions that you had to play as co-op. I feel like this idea would work really well because unlike Triforce Hero basically requiring multiplayer to be any fun, players could enjoy it in their own way. If it did adopt this formula from Unity, it'd be nice to see the ability to just open world explore with your friends, which if I remember correctly was not a part of Assassin's Creed Unity. The other big idea I had, and have discussed with my Discord group, would be a Zelda game that took on the formula of an MMO game. Yeah, a Zelda MMO. This idea isn't new, but in all honesty, I feel like it would work amazing with the Breath of the Wild engine, and here's some reason why. As far as character customization goes, we wouldn't want a world full of links because that would just be pure chaos. At the start of the game, everyone could be able to pick their arrays present in Breath of the Wild, like the Hylian, the Zora, the Goron, the Rito, and the Gerudo. These would basically be the classes within the game, and whichever you chose, you would start the game in their area of the map. One of the main ideas brought up in my Discord was big bosses and big multiplayer puzzles, which would make the game insanely fun. Imagine having to fight a huge boss alone or with your friends. This would give the game a super fresh feeling that the Zelda series has not had, as we have not really seen any large bosses in the overworld outside of Breath of the Wild, and in all honesty, those bosses were pretty easy. As for puzzles, having a mixture of single-player dungeons and multiplayer dungeons or shrines would make exploring super fun with your friends, and very interesting alone. If something like this did happen, I would personally love to see as many dungeons as Triforce Heroes had. That way, by the time you are done with them all, you're either bored of the game or you start again as another race. Another idea would be to have both Hyrule and Lorule, or potentially even other Zelda maps like Termina from Majora's Mask as a side world, the Ocean King as the ocean from Phantom Hourglass, and so on. Obviously, this would be a Nintendo console game, so the only problem would be world size, but if it was not a seamless open world that had loading screens between big areas, the size of Breath of the Wild, well, I'll leave that to your own imagination. My biggest problem with Breath of the Wild is the lack of civilization. So if we did get multiple maps the size of Breath of the Wild, I would honestly want to see more towns, villages, cities, and so on. It'd be cool to see Hyrule Castle in its glory days as the center of the whole world. Timeline-wise, if that didn't just give away where I would want to see the game take place, would be before the events of Breath of the Wild, just before the destruction of Hyrule. That way there's still monsters and bosses, but the world hasn't fallen apart. Or another idea would be the rebuilt Hyrule after the events of Breath of the Wild, by a few hundred years so the world is changed, but similar enough to believe. So that's what I would love to see in the new multiplayer Zelda game. Let me know what you think and whether or not you would play either of those ideas, and let me know in the comments below. And as always, please subscribe, as it always helps me out, and maybe leave a like if you really enjoyed it. I'll see you all next time.